to me, it's, anyone can feel the experience of Stillpoint, the experience of the quantum field, the experience of that energy flowing gently along the spine, and it opening and nourishing the glands in the brain. It's a process, and you start to do this practice a bit, and I get so many people who might feel one, and I say just work on that one, and that one leads to the next. And that one leads to the next. In my life, just like I often in our seminar say everyone drop into Stillpoint, in my life I could have some days when I'm mostly dropping into Ambrosia. So I'm dealing with challenges that are tough that Stillpoint just aren't really helping. And at that point I'm saying, okay, Ambrosia, you got to help me out on this one. I got to just have the love and the compassion and the bliss, or else I'm not getting through this challenge. Does that make sense? It's a different resource, each of these, or there could be a situation where I got to get that energy going up the spine. Last night there was someone who was asking me questions about the brain. What if they're doing a process and they go to welcome it and the brain starts saying, well, gee, what do you welcoming that for? Or the brain just keeps kind of going. And so I suggested, all right, try squeezing the base very gently, squeeze it, and then relax it. Everybody try that for a moment. Everyone try this. Squeeze the base of the perineum. I want you to notice something. Because as soon as I said that to the person last night, their thinking stopped. So what I want you to notice is squeeze the base of the perineum, and then all the way out. And then squeeze it in a little bit again. All the way out. And now you can feel that whole area all the way back to the sacrum. And then very gently, this is very gentle work. And all the way out. And now go right into the middle. And squeeze it, and then right as you squeeze it, in the space in between. Right in the space in the middle, and hold that for a moment. And as you do that, check in with your brain. Does that feel like neutrality? Stillpoint? Isn't that nice? When we squeeze the base from this root, it immediately puts the right and left brain into coherence, into scalar. So, and just kind of hang out here for a moment. Isn't that nice? But what does that do? This experience, what did it do? It drops you into Stillpoint. Right? So why I can still see it. Are people still holding in Stillpoint? So basically what we just went through is a tool. That squeezing the base, this sacred muscle, and just holding it is a profoundly good tool for dissolving things. It's like so one tool is Stillpoint. I get some things that I'm bumping into, and it's a little bit stronger than Stillpoint for whatever. It's too intense for me to get Stillpoint into that zone. So if Stillpoint's not totally dissolving it, well, what do? I round around and I say, okay, what else we got going here? And I pull up another. Or I might try squeezing this. Well, I want to really suggest that these are little tools that you can use throughout your day. Isn't that powerful? How powerful is that? I'm still holding this space right here, and I'm still feeling energy. Not only does it dissolve things, but it has the added benefit of like gushing neutral essence. Let me describe like this, and then we're going to take a little rejuvenation and purification break. Things that are going to purify, they're not going to contract you, they're going to purify. I was saying something, oh yes, so what yogis say that a lot of people on planet Earth have their energy going in what they call the outgoing senses. So yogis say that a lot of people, their energy is constantly going out. Same thing as the cords, where the energy, the senses are like constantly going around, and people are getting pulled into this, or there's this, because the energy is constantly coming down and going out. So yogis discuss, they talk about at a certain point, turning that equation around. Flipping that equation. Which basically means that we're saying to those outgoing faculties, no, we're not going to constantly be given. It's like a vase. You know, you have a vase and you have a hole in the vase, and the water's always going out. That's what's happening with so many people. They have good energy, but the energy is always going out. This down here, when we hold this space, and I'm still holding it in that neutral space, it has a couple of key benefits. One, brain waves go neutral, because it immediately balances the right and left sides of the brain. They're usually going like this, but when you hold this place, energy goes up the spine, and both sides whoosh, kick in. The frontal lobe opens up. And, to me, most important, when we hold this space here, you go through, you spend, in fact, we're going to do this a lot this weekend. I've gone through whole retreats where all I did was hold this space. It's like basically saying to that outgoing, to that vase, we're not going to leak anything anymore. So guess what happens? This isn't just me. The Taoists talk about this. The yogis talk about this. The Native Americans, the shamans, everybody who has ever done alchemy discusses this. Well, when we hold this, guess what happens? That energy now, they call it the root lock. Or in India, they call it the energy bonds. The bonds, or the locks, they call them the root locks. And there are these different plexal. But when you hold this energy that's normally going out starts to say, well, whoa, let's build up. Let's fill up this vase. Let's fill in this space. And it starts to flow along the spine, up the body, through the organs, the chakras, the meridians, the nadis, up into the brain. All with one very simple, holding it right like that. Not too tight. Yogis say, not like an egg. Not too tight, you crush it. Not too loose, you drop it. If you're too tight, the energy doesn't start. It has to be in that right zone where energy starts to stream. People feel that? Isn't that nice? So every so often on this seminar, I usually constantly kind of bring up Stillpoint. Every so often I'm going to suggest, great, let's hold the sacred muscle. I tell you, if you get strong in this, and now you're out in the world and some big challenge. I was at an airport recently, and there was some stuff going on at the front counter. It got heated, like very heated. And I didn't want to lose our line. Essie and Lily were there. We were all there. And so I had them kind of step aside a little bit. First I did a little Stillpoint. That didn't do anything. Then I did a little quantum field. That didn't do anything. Then I said, okay, activation. I held the sacred muscle. I tell you, the thing cooled down quicker than you could. It like, the whole thing just de-escalated. I said, oh, okay, that's a good one. You understand? Everything around us we affect. You know, a lot of different Native American elders. We have you all heard of the 13 grandmothers? Well, thanks to someone in our network who's here who has connection with them. A couple of them, is it 2 or 3 of them have two of them have the laser. They tried it. It helped tremendously. So we offered one, donated one. Another one tried it. It helped them. We donated another one. They're on a perpetual journey on the planet to go and help people understand what we need to do to stay on this planet. In any event, what a lot of the elders the world over are saying is that what goes on here affects nature. So, and by the way, the Old Testament says this. A lot of different sacred books around the planet say this. If there is stress and strife in here, nature responds. If there is peace and equilibrium here, that's why we're often called the shepherd or the guide, because our perception will affect everything around it. And so if we're in a situation and there's a major kind of situation going on and we're stressed out and we're freaking out, well, guess what? We're helping amplify that process. Right now on our planet with everything going on, that's why we say emissary in our program. We are looking for emissaries to go out and to hold the space of neutrality, to help offset and ease the collective experience here on this planet. When our people do this in a large way, we are going to usher in an entirely new season here on planet Earth. It's right here in front of us. It's close. 100th monkey is a real thing. When we hit enough people here, that are helping to hold neutrality, we're going to have a whole new opportunity on our planet for coming here and being conscious stewards and beings here to share and express, not all struggle and grab the energy and all this kind of stuff. All right, so every so often I want folks, in addition to checking in with Stillpoint, check in with your root, with your sacred muscle. And if you forget about it for a few hours, it's okay. And then you say, okay, what was that again? And try that, hold that again.